The Chicago Bulls winning streak comes to an end at 4 games after a loss to the Houston Rockets, who now win their 6th game in a row. We're going to talk about what all went into this game and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, hosted by Hayes, your number one spot for all things Chicago Bulls.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. The Fun Bad Bulls return today. The Chicago Bulls lose a close one to the Houston Rockets, 117-114. The Bulls lost 3 quarters in a row in this game. They won the first quarter 29-22. They then proceed to lose every quarter after that, but this is a very close game with the Chicago Bulls. There's some things that definitely hurt the Bulls' ability to win this game. One, getting completely and utterly killed on the rebounds. The Houston Rockets have 54 rebounds in this game to only 36 for the Chicago Bulls. Now, while that discrepancy was much lower in the first half of the game, even the second chance points discrepancy, which was much lower in the first half of this game, Bulls end up, getting outworked on the boards in this game, which it really did kill the momentum. Every time the Bulls had a chance to really start gaining some momentum, get out, unfortunately, the Houston Rockets got the rebound. And sometimes it's not just about how you get out rebound, it's the timely rebounds. And the Bulls definitely lost the timely rebound battle today. You just can't take away from that. But outside of that, the Bulls had 38 points off the bench to 17 for the Houston Rockets. We had 52 points in the paint compared to 46 for the Houston Rockets. We had 14 second chance points to their 22 and 13 fast break points to their only 4 fast break points. But, despite this game, like Coby White, bad shooting day for him. He was 7 of 21 from the field for 23 points. You need Coby to play better in a case like that. Only 1 of 7 from three-point range. 17 points from Trey Jones, who he continues to just play extremely well. He was 7 of 12 from the field for 6 assists, 2 rebounds, only 1 turnover from Trey. We all know how Trey can play. Miles Buzelis had a more positive game than what he's had the last couple of games. 10 points in 19 minutes today. He had 2 blocks, 1 steal, 1 assist, 3 rebounds. So we got to see back to like stat stuffing sheet Miles. You can still tell that rookie wall is definitely there for him as far as something that he's hit. Only playing 19 minutes definitely points to that. 10 points today from Patrick Williams off the bench. He was 4 or 5. Good to see him. Dalen Terry, 11 points. He led scoring off the bench today in 13 minutes, which is really good for Dalen. And then Julian Phillips, 8 points in 19 minutes from him. We got to see a double big lineup today. We got to see Jalen Smith and Nikola Vucevic. Jalen Smith and Nikola Vucevic in a lineup, and Jalen Smith and Zach Collins in a different lineup. So, the Bulls are definitely going to do that thing, and show out really well there. So, it's good overall that this team really stepped up in that case. It is what it is, man. The Bulls are unfortunately, they missed it, man. They didn't have enough in this game, and but this team fared really, really good, man. And that's what it comes down to, right? Like, I get it that the Bulls are on a win streak and they were winning games right against bad teams, but let's not forget the Houston Rockets are a team that's going to win at least 50 games this season, and the Bulls were down to the wire against them without Josh Giddey, right? Without Josh Giddey in this game, so I think that's a really good thing. Just to show the competition level from this team, right? And like I said before, I know that they've been winning lately. I know it sucks to not be able to get this win, but to compete is really good. Really good to see this team compete in a game like this, man. And that's what I'm taking away from it. This team is still fighting with a lot of heart. They played solidly on both sides of the ball, and there's a lot of positive you can take away from this game, that it went down to the wire. And like I said, the Bulls lost 3 straight quarters in this game. Got completely killed on the boards, right? You have Josh Giddey in this game, and no slight to anybody else, right? Coby White had 7 rebounds tonight, but you add Josh Giddey in this game, and what he does rebounding may helps a little bit in that case. Not saying that it comes down to just Josh Giddey's rebounding, but I think it helps some in this game. So, the woulda, coulda, shoulda. You missed a player. It is what it is. The game would have looked different with Josh Giddey in there. Doesn't mean the Bulls would have necessarily won. But there's the way that this team has competed since the All-Star break leaves a lot, man. And I tell you what, this team keeps competing this way. Keep in mind, 12 players have guaranteed contracts that are on this 15-man roster right now. With Josh Giddey being a restricted free agent, Trey Jones being an unrestricted free agent, and THT being an unrestricted free agent. So you look at adding in a first-round pick to that, because the Bulls do have their own first-round pick. You bring Josh Giddey back. You have another year of actually, keep in mind, Billy Donovan hasn't created any plays for this version of the team. They're just running through it, as a team and things like that. Maybe that's actually helping them. But there's a lot of reason to think if the Bulls get the right player in this draft, this team could be good as soon as next year, right? And I have been somebody who's been saying for a while that the Bulls are probably 3 years at minimum away. If you get the right guy, right? You add an Asa Newell, a Derek Queen, a Danny Wolf, right? You add somebody like that to this team, and they're on this team to start the season. Not to say that those guys necessarily start. I still think if the Bulls do draft a center, Zach Collins probably going to be that starting center to start the season off. Like, I'm assuming they're able to move Nikola Vucevic, but even if it's not a center, right? This team could be right back here competitive, man. I know that's not what a lot of Bulls fans want to see, right? Some Bulls fans want to see the Bulls be in the lottery the next 2 years, and that may very well happen, right? There's still a very big chance that can happen, but we'll see what happens, man. Overall, this is a nice stretch for the Bulls, man. Very nice stretch from us. I'm not mad at it at all. Eco Bean says, this team is nice. Billy D left P. Will out there deep into the fourth quarter. Should have had Modest or Zach in there instead. Don't disagree with you at all there. You can absolutely see where Giddey is missed. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. We got Utah next. They another big team, Hayes. So what should we do rebound-wise? Go big or what? I mean, play the rotations. Let the game dictate how you go, because just because you go big doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win the rebounding battle, right? We'll see. Fun game, though. Poor execution at the end of the second quarter. Houston came out in the second half swinging. Glad we fought for the most part. Yeah, to that point that JK's mentioned in here, the third quarter in this game is the only quarter in which the Bulls did not score at least 20 points. They scored 29 points in the first quarter, 36 points in the second quarter, 31 points in the fourth quarter. Bulls only scored 18 points in the third quarter of this game. Of course, if you're more aligned with what you did in the other quarters, you probably win this game. But that's kind of an easy thing to just throw out there. Not to you, to me, but we'll see what happens. Good game, gives a lot of hope, but need to get the offensive rebounds. Need to get Giddey's rebounding. Giddey's rebounding definitely could have made some differences here. Giving Herter this many minutes while Julian and Dalen were playing better than him. Here's the thing. While I will give you Dalen and Julian, even P. Will to a degree, were playing better than Kevin Herter, I think that down the stretch of a tough game, especially when Herter was playing good defense at times, situational defense, playing passing lanes, maybe why Billy Donovan did that. But Billy Donovan got to be, and he did it last game. And I wonder if Billy kind of went back to some of his old kind of hesitation to go to young players in situations like that. But, it is what it is, man. Another playing with hard fought game for the Bulls. I just hope we can get some damn size in the offseason. It's been long overdue. I mean, we got size on this team now. And Billy continues playing it like this. Like, we got some legit size on this team now. Of course, you lose Vooch, you lose a lot of that. So I get what you're coming at. But I still think the Bulls got to go best player available, regardless of position. But we'll see what they do. 18 points in the whole third quarter. Yeah, 18 points in the third quarter definitely hurt this team. This is Chicago Bulls 2026. They nice. Listen, we'll see. Coby also played way too many minutes because of Giddey, Ayo, and Zoe being out. Yeah, but I mean, listen, Coby hasn't had to play a lot of minutes like that this season. Keep in mind, down the stretch of last season, he was playing a lot of games like this. But hey, that's what's asked for. He's a player with the highest usage rate now. That's what's going to be him. He's going to be called to do. He better get used to it. Hey, just imagine if Lonzo Ball played Fred, would have had like 9 points. Lonzo does guard Fred very, very well, but for what it's worth, like Fred did most of his damage in the first half of the game, right? Like we adjusted pretty well to Fred. Fred VanVleet scored 21 points in the first half, only 2 points in the second half of the game. So I mean, we played Fred pretty damn well in the second half, right? But Alfred Sengun, 18 points in the second half. Jalen Green, 16 points in the second half. It killed you. Remember in the halftime hangout when I said, listen, I'm cool with Fred going off for 40. I think if Fred keeps carrying the major scoring load, we win this game. But other players got involved. Giddey should be back soon, hopefully by the Suns game. We'll see. I know I don't know how to feel about tanking, but competing feels a hell of a lot better. Agree with that. Listen, say that again, bro. Say that again. Must re-sign Trey Jones and Kevin Huerter. Well, Kevin Huerter isn't a free agent at the end of the season. He still has a contract for next year. But unfortunately, you can't say must. I mean, yeah, I would love Trey Jones on this team. But, we'll see what happens. I can't be mad. Houston is just more experienced. But I'll say this day, I'll say this, the day we get a superstar player in the city, and if we keep a lot of these role players, man, one day we will be a top 5 seed again. I mean, listen, we got a long way ahead of us before we can say we could be a top 5 seed, but hopefully it's coming sooner rather than later. That's for sure. I love how this team plays. Been playing, but in the second half tonight, Coby's defense was very bad. Coby's defense has been bad overall. I mean, I just want to be clear there. But you kind of take the good with the bad with Coby. But I think with a lot of players with like size and length is just never going to really. That's not where Coby's going to be the best at defensively. With all these playing teams looking bad, I think the Bulls actually make it out of the play-in. LOL. We're about to be the 7th seed. Watch. I don't know if we're going to be we can't be the 7th seed. The highest that we can be is the 8th seed. So you can't do that. Well, that's if we stay at 10th. So for us to be the 7th seed, we have to work our way up to being the 8th seed before the play-in, because then the 7th, 8th seed play for the 7th seed, if that makes sense. So right now, the Bulls don't have a chance of being the 7th seed in the playoffs. But you're right. A lot of the teams in the Bulls area, they're going to be in that play-in tournament. The Hawks, 6-4 in their last 10. Orlando Magic, 3-7 in their last 10. The Miami Heat on a 7-game losing streak. They're 2-8 in their last 10. The Chicago Bulls are 6-4 in their last 10. And now we just ended our 4-game winning streak. So, but don't overlook it. I know that it's still a long shot, but the Toronto Raptors still have the easiest schedule remaining in the league, and they've won 3 games in a row. Now they still find themselves 4 games behind the Chicago Bulls, but listen, Toronto isn't all the way out of there yet. So just hold out that hope for however you feel, however you want that to go. Finally, Billy used our bigs together. Finally. As play as I don't like Billy, he might need to be here for the beginning of the year, and then we move him on. Listen, you're not going to – I tell you, that's not what's going to happen. If Billy's here, he's going to be here. If Billy's not going to be here, next year may be the last year in his deal. I think it's going to be important to listen for what happens. Like, keep in mind, the last time Billy Donovan got an extension, he got a 2-year extension with 2 years still left on his contract. The fact that they've let it go this long to where next year is the last year on his deal, and we still haven't heard anything about a Billy Donovan contract, it's going to be interesting to watch, because if we hear something this offseason that Billy gets extended, man, I'm not going to be surprised by it. Vooch should already be on Golden State Warriors. I can't let that go. Just like Zach should have been traded to the Knicks way back when. Listen, no, the Bulls were never going to trade Zach LaVine 1 year after giving him the contract extension. That's when the New York Knicks deal happened. They were never going to do that. It was literally the year after giving him the contract extension. They were never going to do it that soon. It does suck that that's the highest value that we reportedly heard for Zach LaVine. That is what it is at this point, right? Now, as far as Vooch should have been moved to Golden State, keep in mind, Golden State was a little bit hesitant. They wanted to move the Jimmy Butler. They wanted to make the Jimmy Butler move. We still don't know if they were back in on Vooch after they traded for Jimmy Butler. Most of those rumors around Golden State happened before the Jimmy Butler trade, but we'll see if they revisit him here at the in the offseason, man. Io may be the odd man out. Io's not going to be the odd man out. Like, this don't Eco. I love you, brother. You do have it. We all. I want to be clear. I'm not just singling you out. Have a habit of being the prisoner of the moment. Io's not going to be the one that's the odd man out. As being a better two-way player, even if you look at Io's minutes as a starter, his minutes as a starter are way better than Trey Jones has been as a starter, even here, right? So, no, Io's not going to be the odd man out. And Kevin Huerter's not really balling. I'm sorry. Kevin Huerter's had some good moments, but he's not balling. Like, balling is a little bit too much of an exaggeration for Kevin Huerter, but you definitely can't say he's playing bad. But balling, no, Kevin Huerter isn't balling. Like, if 8.7 points per game is balling on 40% shooting, then Dosunmu was absolutely killing it. He was a superstar if that's the case. Like, Kevin Huerter's had some really good times, really good moments. So take nothing away from it, but Kevin Huerter hasn't been balling. He's been playing solidly though. Trey Jones. Now you can make the conversation for Trey Jones balling. Trey Jones is nice. I hope he returns next year. He could be a solid backup for Giddey, or if Coby or Lonzo don't return next year. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm all for that. There's nothing that I'm going to make for why Trey doesn't make sense for this team as far as on the court. But you still got to look at functional, right? You're about to pay Josh Giddey to come back, right? And then at that point, you still got to – you only have 2 open roster spots, right? So unless you make a trade, you trade Vooch and don't take another player back, because keep in mind, if you take another player back, trading Vooch doesn't open up another roster spot for you. And you got to make room for your 2 draft picks, right? So I get it. I would love Trey Jones to be on the team. Make no mistake about it. But it's still a business here, and you still got to make room for young players. And so we'll see. We'll see. Now, I don't like things that go against that is the fact that we know that this team isn't against carrying a bunch of guards, right? We know they're not afraid to carry a shit ton of guards. So there's that part in it as well where it may still happen, but I just want everybody to be prepared that the business aspect of it may call for Trey Jones not to be here. Someone needs to tell them if the 3 ball is not working, stop jacking them. They stopped doing that a long time ago. Have you actually watched this Bulls team? Like they we're talking about a team that regularly was taking 43 pointers when they were shooting like 32%. Like the Bulls shot almost 37% today from 3-point range, and they took 38 and hit 14 of them. That's not jacking up threes. Like that was a third of their basically a little over a third of their total shots taken were 3-pointers today. They're attacking the rim a lot more than what they were earlier in the season. We need size and strength. That is why P. Will is valuable. He is one of the only real league size wing players we have. Got to disagree with that. Brandon Ingram's a real size wing. Julian outweighs him. Modest Buzelis isn't that far behind him, right? Like Patrick Williams is great to have size, but Patrick Williams doesn't necessarily have the mobility. Now, P. Will's been playing solidly. He's put together 2 solid games back to back. But still bench quality player games, but make no mistake about it, still really good games for Patrick Williams. So that's good to see. This team is who they are. Front office is the major change that needs to happen this season. We have to be consistent and get Io back ASAP. See what happens. Hey, great tank and loss for me as a neutral, poor closing out. But if we can get a Malowick, this team may actually not be an eyesore defensively. I mean, this team really isn't an eyesore defense. Hasn't really been an eyesore, at least defensively for the most part, for over a month now. But, a big man like that has the defensive prowess and the ability to protect the rim like a Kaman Malowick would make so much sense for this team. Bro, this game was so damn winnable. Bro, way too many fumbles, rebounding is probably what you mean there. Yeah, there is a rebounding team, but bro, come on. That shit was so damn controllable for these boards. They got to get better. But keep in mind, this is a team that, before the win streak, we won 5 games in 5 weeks. So you're still learning how to win, right? But, we'll see what happens. Knowing that we have our chances next draft to improve, I feel we still to clean house a little bit more and get rid of some players that keep us back. That are keeping us back. I mean, there's not really a lot of cleaning house players left. Like Vooch, of course, right? We'll see what happens with Coby and Io, but I don't think that there was countless players holding us back, right? That deep three by Coby was such a bad shot we didn't need. Like when Valentine shot that unnecessary shot against Miami. Yeah, but I'd much rather Coby take. Coby's made a lot more of those than Denzel Valentine has, right? Like when Coby takes, you're like, this is gonna go in. When Denzel took that shot, it was immediate. Like, what the fuck was wrong with you, bro? Trey might not be here next season, but he's made himself a lot of money just by these last 2 weeks. Might literally be a $5 million more over a year than he was going to get. Well, he was going to get probably vet minimum next this offseason. Now he's probably going to command about $9.5, $10 million. I don't think he gets the full mid level, but I do think he's probably going to get $9-10 million, and good for him. Like Trey Jones, listen, Trey Jones has been balling, and I love the fact that Trey Jones is playing really well. Vooch got lazy on that rebound, and P-Will had a chance to box out Green, but did not see him, I guess. But P-Will had a great block, though. P-Will had an active game. P-Will's put together 2 active P-Will games, and I can't knock him for that, right? Can't knock him for that. At this point, like I've said, he's a bench player. I don't have to pay him, so I'm taking the contract out of the equation. P-Will coming off the bench the last 2 games has been about the production you want from a bench player. Over the last 2 games, 23 minutes each game, P-Will shooting the ball a combined almost 70% from the field, which is not going to keep up, but that's good. He's shooting the ball 45% from 3 over the last 2 games. He's averaging 2.5 assists. 2.5 blocks. 2.5 rebounds, 1 assist, a half a block, a half a steal per game, and 10 points over the last 2 games. That's his averages. I'll take that from a bench player. That's good. That's good. That's good bench player production from P-Will. I really hope we can land a pick in a position for us to draft Kaman. He would be a great fit on this team, and by that point in the draft, may also be best player available as well. Very well, right? Now, here's the thing, though, and I want everybody to keep this in mind. Around this time last year, a lot of mocks had Zach Giddey going in the second round, and you saw how between draft combines, workouts, how he shot up. Kaman, yeah, there's a lot of mock drafts that are predicting him to go like 10 to 12. But I do think that in the workouts, in one-on-one drills, in the team drills, 5-on-5 drills, I should say, I really think Kaman is gonna shoot up the draft. So while right now he's projected to go in the Bulls range, I would not be surprised if Kaman goes, depending on how the draft positioning falls out, if he goes between 6 and 8. I wouldn't be surprised with that. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see how it all shakes out, but, we'll see. Trey Jones seems to be a little bit more comfortable operating in the mid-range than Io to me. No, you're 100% fact there. Io is a slasher, right? That's what he likes to do. Io doesn't really stop in the mid-range. Even if he starts in the mid-range, he likes to try to get to that rim, right? Or he shoots the 3. Io really doesn't have a really good middle game right now. Now we've seen games of it, we've seen stretches of it. He hasn't done it consistently yet. Trey Jones, he knows how to stop and pop in the middle. He knows how to use Trey Jones understands how to use his ability to drive to open up a mid-range shot for himself. So yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a wrong statement that you made. I don't even care about this loss. The games are background noise at this point for me. Since they disappoint so much, I'd rather do literally anything else but watch some good players, just a shitty operation. I mean, hey, you have the right to your feelings, my dear brother, especially with this team. I understand it all, man. Hot Dog Summer says, it's weird how it's hard now to identify the obvious weakness on the team. Before it was obvious we needed a new center. Well, Collins is less of a get the best center you can. No, to me, and here's my personal opinion, right? Not to take away from your opinion, but my personal opinion is Zach Collins has made my desire to get a center more. And there's no knock on Zach Collins, but imagine a young, more modern center, athletic center in the place of Zach Collins. Now, a lot of Zach Collins' game is definitely IQ, right? He has really good basketball IQ. That's why even though he's not the most athletic player, he's not the strongest player, he's smart. But if you replace and put in a young, athletic, defensive-minded, rebounding big there, right, which you can get, that makes me want to see that more with Josh Giddey and Coby White, right? That makes me want to see that more with those guys. So I still think it's a need. I think, if anything, the way that we look with Zach Collins on the court versus with with Nikola Vucevic on the court, it makes me want a young center even more to pair with Josh Giddey and Coby White long term. To how that free up Modest Buzelis with Modest Buzelis' ability to block. Imagine having a shot blocking center there. Like, it actually makes me want to center even more in this draft, bro. So that's just the way I look at it. If Kaman and Newell are still on the board, who are you going to? Ooh, oh man, that's even worse than asking if Derek Queen or Kaman are on the board together. I'd still say Kaman. Kaman has the higher ceiling, but man, I'll say this. Asa is a more polished player right now because he's been playing. Keep in mind, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Kaman's only been playing basketball like 5 years. So he has so much left to still uncover in his game. But Asa still has stuff left to uncover in his game, but he's a more polished product right now. Like, Asa Newell has the chance to be a modern Joakim Noah. And in the sense that, I mean, better offensively, maybe not the passer that Joe is, but when you look at the ability to guard and switch out onto guards as a center, Asa Newell brings that. So what he lacks in like size and bulk, Asa Newell's defensive instincts are tremendous, man. I'm telling you, it's tremendous. Io fits in any system. It would be insane to get rid of Io. He's a plug-in player on any team. Agree. 100% agree with you on that. Have you thought if this team right now played the whole season, how many wins do you think we would? I've thought about that, brother. And honestly, if this team, with the way that they're playing, was together the whole entire season, man, we still have a talent deficit at some places. Make no mistake about it. But I wouldn't be surprised if we have like 5 more wins than what we do right now. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at it. Utah beat us this season, and also Wizards beat us, and New Orleans swept them. Supposed to be 4 more wins right now. We're supposed to be 32. You can't really base it off that, because then there's definitely some teams you're basing it off that logic that we beat that we shouldn't have, if that's the logic that you're using. Haven't been this excited about the Bulls since 2021. I actually think we are 1 or 2 seasons away from being a damn good team right now. Hey, Ethan, you could be right, brother, and I hope that you are. For our enjoyment, for the state of the team, I hope that you are, right? I hope that I don't want to see the team have a 3 to 5 year turnaround time, right? So let's hope that is the case, man. And if it is, great. Would you trade up for Kaman? No, I wouldn't trade up for Kaman, because keep in mind, like, trading up isn't like trading up in the NFL. Like, you usually actually have to give something up to trade up, right? So no, I wouldn't trade up, because I'm still if Kaman goes, let's say the Bulls pick at 10 and Kaman goes at 8, I'm not worried about it, because that still means Derek Queen or Asa Newell is probably going to be there for you at 10. I'm very happy drafting. I'm completely fine drafting those guys. It's hard to watch the NBA as a whole. Love the Bulls, but the game has turned into unwatchable TV. There's a change that needs to happen to the system of basketball. I mean, I get where you're coming from in that. Like, I can't speak for you on what you say makes it unwatchable for you. But, I mean, you go through those ebbs and flows. And as we get older as well, the game starts looking less and less like the game we remember, right? So that just happens. That's an era thing. Kaman will be the guy I want most. However, as far as big goes, the draft isn't lacking. There's guys like Cal and Ivicic in the second round that could be sleepers. Keyword could. Yeah, see, I'm not betting on. I'm not gonna say I'm cool passing on Kaman for players in the second. I'm cool if we don't get Kaman if we get Danny Wolf. I'm not Danny Wolf if we get Derek Queen. I'm cool if we don't get Kaman if we get Asa Newell, right? Those are the ones. Now, if you take best player available, right? And because that's another thing. Let's say you do go guard in the first round and you take one of these other centers that are available in the second. I'm cool, right? Especially if the guy in the first still ends up being good. But we'll see what happens, man. The Bulls got a lot at their disposal. We'll see what happens. Are you going to be mad if the Bulls draft the best player available, like a scorer such as Trey? No. I actually have a video on the channel where I said that Trey Jones may be the best player out of the top 4. He may even be better than one of the guys that's supposed to go in the top 4. So no, I wouldn't be mad at that. I think then you got some work to do with your roster. But no, I wouldn't. That's why I said, like, I get it. Center makes the most sense for the Bulls, but the Bulls need talent more than anything, right? That's where the Bulls really sit at. That's really where we need to be at, is we need talent. So we'll see. I know you're doing draft stuff later, but in general, do you think Bulls should go for an NBA ready player with a lower ceiling, or a guy that has a few years away? Go best player available. That's the thing. The player that you truly thinks has a chance to turn into a star, you go with that guy. Spurs just beat New Orleans. We just went up in the lottery standings. Cool. 62-20 Bulls during the 2010-11 season. We should win a championship that year. D Rose league MVP too. Oh, what? Did you have a stroke, Jeremy? Like, you just tick and just like what was that? Şengün is more of an old school center big man with low post game and rarely attempts shots outside the paint. Not every big needs to shoot threes to be successful in today's game. That's 100% fact. 100% fact. But you do need to be able to stretch and have a mid-range game, which Şengün does have. So, yeah, you don't always need a bunch of threes. So, who do you think will be the one guy who falls out of the lottery this year, Hayes? There's always one guy. Man, that's a great question. I was actually and it changes, right? There's a lot of different players that it could be, mainly because of draft position, because of another player shooting up. But if I had to look at a player that I think probably will fall out of the lottery this year, KJ is a guy that could fall out of the lottery, I think, for sure. That most have him going in the lottery. I think he can fall right outside the lottery. Now, if he does, I think that I think like a team like Dallas is probably going to be right outside the lottery, that they would pick him up. I don't think he goes too far out of the lottery, but I think him. I also think that a guy like Jeremiah Fears could fall slightly out of the lottery. Now, that depends on how the board shakes out and how workouts shape up, because I see a guy like Kaman going into the lottery. I think he can go. So there's a couple of guys, but if I had to pick one, it'd probably be KJ from Illinois. If I see a guard or two guard pick this year's draft, I'm protesting Chicago Bulls basketball. You shouldn't, because a guard may be the right pick. I'm sorry. You want a star, and Trey Jones could be an absolute star in this league. Like, period. He could be a star in this league and a two-way player in this league. So, no, the Bulls aren't at the place right now where you're drafting for just position. You're drafting for the overall talent. So, this, to me, this isn't the draft that you freak out if the Bulls draft a guard. Not if it's the best player available. Modest becoming too predictable. We got to learn new. He's a rookie. He's a rookie. Come on. We really complain about a rookie who didn't start most of the season, a rookie who still doesn't get plays called for them consistently, being too predictable? Hell, the play call is too predictable. Bulls definitely need a young, athletic big. Yeah, for sure. But you know what we need more than that? We need Trey Johnson. I keep saying Trey Jones, Trey Johnson, my bad. But you know who we do need? We need talent. That's what we need more than anything. So, it is what it is. But all right, y'all. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and ready to wrap it up. Make sure you guys are following us at Bulls Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. bullscentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, but that's thanks to you lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See red if you can, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.